And hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the CEI Esports and Reachin and Teachin podcast socials. I'm Robinson. This is my co-host Johnny. We got a new partnership. Johnny, tell them about it.
Listen, man, HyperX, man. So shout out to HyperX for sponsoring the podcast, the Reachin and Teachin podcast at that. These podcast mics are amazing. USB enabled, port enabled, can do anything you want to do, stream, record. So big special thanks to HyperX for sponsoring the show. We can't wait to see what's going on in the future, what we can cook up with the content. So yeah, we really appreciate it, right?
Yeah, definitely. Show them how to mute the mic. And it matches with the polo, goes perfectly with CI Esports. So when we're doing Reachin and Teachin or CI Esports content, be aware of HyperX. They're showing us love. You're going to get quality sound, quality content. So beware, and thanks again, HyperX, for the love. And hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition of the Reachin and Teachin podcast. Wait a minute, Johnny. Presented by HyperX.
HyperX. Yo, hold on. Let me show off the new drip, bro. Look at that right there. Wow.
Be careful. I want to show it off, but it keeps disconnecting. So yes, but yes, we have a new sponsor alert. Yes, we still CI Esports. We didn't get fired. Not yet.
I mean, we have polos on, bro. Come on.
Anyways, so yes, presented by HyperX, and today, Johnny, we have a special guest. This is somebody I've been trying to get for a while. This is a guy that's shown so much love to the podcast. This guy has. When we were organizing and coordinating this whole email, this guy has the cartoon version of Dave Chappelle as Prince. And he's got the whole avatar going. He knows the vibes. Yes, he is from the iBallEmpire. He is a coach and host of the NBA 2K League. It is the Go Vegas, ladies and gentlemen.
Clap it up, ladies and gentlemen. Clap it up.
What is going on, man?
Living the dream. Thank you both for having me.
Of course, man.
I love the podcast. I love the platform. I watch every episode. So it's exciting to be on the other side this time around. So thank you again for having me.
No problems, man. We are grateful to have you on the show. It's touching, right? It's a little touching.
The goosebumps just came up, and he's got the HyperX headset too, so he knows the vibes.
Look. I heard sponsors, right? We have to make sure the sponsors.
Show love to HyperX, man.
I had to put in my water because we're not sponsored by water. Anyways, so let's get started. So
free promo.
Exactly. So let's get started. How did you get into the gaming esports world, and then eventually into 2K?
Like, was that a passion of yours, or was it something you just kind of fell into?
Honestly, it was something that I just graduated college. I'm working, hanging out with buddies. So of course we're just playing Pro-Am, just the five of us. And of course, like, it's just like something having fun, but you know how it gets where I'm started streaming on Twitch. And then I see somebody kind of hit me up like, hey, you think about participating in a draft league? And I'm like, draft league? What's that? Like, I'm so like, don't even know anything about the community whatsoever. So they tell me about the draft league. My friends are like, it's not worth it. But I'm like, hold on. There might be something to this. Let's listen. So I wound up checking it out. It was 2K First Take. So I wound up joining that, just saying, hey, let's see what I got. I wound up getting drafted, playing, whatever. Next thing you know, I wound up becoming a GM because they needed help running the organization. And then it's like, wow, I might actually have a future. This might be something to be looked at. This is, I was watching the 2K League as a fan, watching Knicks gaming, being a Knicks fan, diehard Knicks fan. So I'm like, all right, representing, season one.
We got a bunch of Knicks lovers.
Hey, let's go. Wait, you're not a.
I said, no. I don't have anything against the Knicks. I'm a Suns fan, but I do support the Knicks. My father, so I hope they do well in life.
All right. I'll take that.
Okay, got you.
Yeah. So
I said Trey Burke. Whoa, I gotta step back. I said Trey Burke. I messed up.
Oh, you're so fan. That's crazy, yo. That's so crazy. Jalen Brunson. Nah, bro. Wow. He's not real.
Look. It's just it's excitement. He's just excited. We're just, I get it, man. Like, it's a big time for Knicks fans right now. It's a big time. But yeah, just pretty much wound up getting into that, running a draft league, and from there I wound up getting my start with 2K Zone. Like, hey, draft leagues, it's stressful, running a league. I wanted to get more into the 2K League side, showing that I can be a coach, I can be a part of this. This was a dream of mine. And just wound up getting that shot as an analyst with 2K Zone, then continuing rolling along, bunch of different things, becoming a host of the Venom Report with Big West and Hornets Venom GT. Then for season 4, Nick Gartrell, of course, JB, they wound up bringing me on as the assistant coach. and started originally just being assistant coach, helping with content. By the end of the season, I was a social media manager and assistant coach. So just starting to wear more hats, doing all kinds of other things. So it felt right. I love esports. I love gaming. I love basketball. So, the same spiel that probably everybody else says, like, who doesn't want to combine the two? And in this brand new platform, this just brand new space, who doesn't want to be one of those trailblazers where you can look back in the future like, wow, this person was one of those people who was there from the beginning. It's just little things you got to love.
Yeah, definitely. It's when you get into the gaming space, you realize, wow, there's so many different ways you can go about it, especially when you develop an esports league. It's just, wow, I could do this, I could do that. So you talked about it. You put on so many different hats. But when you saw the league, right? What made you like think that, hey, I want to be a part of this? Like, what was your intention before the 2K League came about? Like, what did you have any aspirations? And then what made you like, okay, let me try and get into this space?
So I was actually an actor.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was acting for a while. Granted, all through high school, all through college, just post college, just a couple movies, couple commercials, etc. And I was building up with that kind of thing. And of course, I'm getting into this, another hobby, get away from acting, get away from just work. And as I see progression here, knowing how much of an investment it is with acting and just the time commitment, I'm like, I'd rather just start to angle myself towards this. Whereas I know that I can always go back to acting. I can always come back and do this. This is something that I'm really excited about. I want to try. And the worst thing I can do is just not do well. And I can just go back and do it. Like, it's just like with life. The worst thing somebody can say is no, or I'm used to it with acting, just being denied for roles, denied for so it does, like, saying no, somebody saying no to me doesn't really mean as much. So why not take a shot on myself, bet on myself? Because that's all you have in this world, right?
Yeah, especially when you're young. I mean, I think honestly, this is the trial and error period, right, of our lives, right? You kind of go to one thing, go to the other, and just test the waters out and see what happens. But do you think, though, with acting, because I think it's a really interesting point, do you think that prepared you in a sense of like the personality you possess on screen? I think for you, you're one of the bigger personalities in the league, right? And when you're on camera, there's a presence there, right? So do you think acting kind of helped you transition better over to that on-camera role where you're hosting and having these shows and these different roles and hats? Do you think that overall kind of helped you get to where you are now?
I would have to say, yeah. Just with the training, the time, where just understanding pacing, understanding beats, comedic timing, all the little things, knowing how to just keep that straight face no matter what, despite how much is going on, even though it's want to be goofy. But yeah, all the little things, I definitely think it prepared me. It's one of those things that I was grateful to get started in high school. Granted, it was just to not be in the house and, of course, to get the attention of a girl, but
of course.
Okay, so is there any first of all, is there any movies or shows or commercials that we should check you out in?
I mean, there are a couple. So Alpha Rift is one of them. It just came out this past year. So it's actually pretty solid. Lance Hendrickson. So I'm not like, he was an alien, and like Aliens, like he was like one of the, I guess he's the android guy. He's done a lot. He's a pretty well-known actor. A couple other people. I was actually in Creed 2, but they wound up cutting my part, which sucked. So just like you get to the premiere and you're like, oh, I'm excited, cool, and then they want just cutting it. And it's fine. Like it happens in life. But the experience itself was amazing. Having my green room right next to Michael B. Jordan and, right next to Tessa Thompson. So I'm walking out, I'm talking to Michael B. Jordan about the draft because this is right when the draft lottery is going on, where this is the year we drafted Frank Ntilikina. But like we were just talking, like, just, hey, Donovan Mitchell, this, blah, 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 just having conversations. So in reality, I got paid, and I still get paid to this day, thanks to residuals, just to sit there and eat snacks. And I'm like, hey, who's ever going to say no to that, right? So, again, it was an amazing experience. I love it. Wish had the part, but just got to keep doing more for next time, right?
I think honestly, Joe, I think there's a lot more acting in your future. Clearly, I think that one part there, a little failure, is not nothing to kind of hang your head on. Honestly, you're still making bank off of it. A little something. Something is better than nothing. That's what my mom
I
always
swear,
says.
I think I don't want to dive. I don't want to double. I think I could if I really, really put some time into it. I think I could do an acting. I watch a lot of Law and Order. I think I could do it. I see
You said
Stabler
Law and Order. What you gonna be? One of the
play a dead
weirdos
body. Just boom.
Oh, the extra dead body.
Although we got to be time sensitive because someone did. There was an accident at a Law and Order thing, but we'll dive into it. But I watch a lot of Law and Order, and I do think I could play. I could be seriously just like he's no longer with us. I can do it. I think I can do it. So or just
that was good. That was good. You still me.
Oh, there it is. Anyways, let's get back to the questioning. So you said you put on, like I said before, you put on a lot of hats. Did you want to become in the league as a coach, or what role did you aspire to be when you wanted to be a part of the league, or because you're a coach for a 3v3 team and Team Handlez, you're a host. Sorry for work last week, fantastic job. But there are also other hats to fill in terms of the main broadcast of the league and other, or just being with the team. What did you want to pursue, and how did you end up being where you are now with those roles?
Originally, of course, everybody wants to be a player, but I figured out early on that I did not have the thumbs for it, or the time commitment. You have to give it to the players. It's a lot. It's a lot. Yes. Especially when you're yelling at them all day to press a button, and for sure, okay, I can't press a button. So, I completely get it. So exactly, I could still drop some in the rack, etc. Okay. But yeah, so I learned, and for me, I just looked at the future of it all, just understanding just from acting and just looking at sports in general, that the longevity of an esports career is not very long. I'd rather become a coach, be on the operations side, whereas I'm now not only working in esports, but I'm working for an NBA organization. Yeah. Whereas now, of course, benefits, there's longevity, there's a way for me to continue to move up part of that organization. And even if I want to move off and do something else as far as broadcasting or, some other work, or even get back into acting, I'll still have that opportunity. So that's kind of my thought process. Also, I'm a big fan of giving back. And I feel like as somebody who's been through a lot in my personal life, just helping the younger generations be able to grow, not only as players, but as people, it means so much more to me than anything. And that's really what it's all about for me.
Yes, that I wholeheartedly agree with that. I think paying it forward is always the real value in what we do with experience, right? We have a lot of different challenges, experiences that we go through, and that we want to pay for the next group to make it a little easier for them, right? Kind of give them a better pathway that we probably didn't have, but it's always feel good to kind of give back to them and kind of let them know that, hey, like, this is the way I think you should go about doing this, because at the end of the day, want to make the world a little bit of a better place, just a tad bit, do our little part. And so I think, Joe, that's commendable, seriously, for you to kind of always get back to the community or whoever is kind of, leaning on you for advice or just kind of what's where to go. But one of my questions, Joe, is that I think for you, you seem very aspirational, right? Go oriented, want to be able to kind of progress and move forward and have plans for yourself. So with the league, the 2K league, and your vision of being a coach at this point and be on the operations side, do you have aspirations? Again, you mentioned working for an NBA organization, right? Because technically this is an extension of an NBA organization. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like your goal for you maybe in the future is to work for an actual NBA professional team in some type of capacity?
I mean, I would love to. For me, I'm always open to whatever path, as much as I want to just be laser focused in goals. I understand that in life that opportunities are going to arise. They're going to take you down different paths at different points. So I don't like to just be completely locked in, because sometimes you miss a lot of great opportunities. Yeah. So yeah, I would love to, if the opportunity arises. Of course, even just with the Timberwolves, the job was offered. Unfortunately, due to some personal situations, I wasn't able to move full time to Minnesota. Otherwise, I would have been there hanging with JB, Nick, and the guys the whole time. But because you know how it gets there with the team.
Nick is a character.
I love that kid. I mess with him all the time because it's just like that brother dynamic that we built. But I have so much respect for that dude. Watching him grow from just somebody who's just trying to be hungry at the studio to getting an assistant coach job, to becoming a head coach, and to becoming not only a head coach, but one of the best coaches, and understanding the way he coaches, the way he looks to inspire his team and like inspire others around him. I've learned so much from him and JB, and that's brought into my own coaching style. So the dude is great. I love him to death, but we always got to keep him humble, Maybe we cut this part out. So Nick, get better.
He asked, who's more likely to go to a Hall of Fame, Andre Iguodala or Carmelo Anthony? And I had to let him know, you're wild. Take it. I was like, take it.
I was like, nah.
I was like, take it. He's like, why? I'm like, and I had to put my name attached to it because I was using the podcast social media. I had to attach my name. I was like, hold on. And this guy, and this is Queens in the book. This guy lives in Jamaica. He's like probably 25 minutes away from me. So yeah, whenever he's in, because we've been trying to organize stuff where we could be in 2K League action. we gotta settle these words. But anyways, let's move on.
Because that's blasphemous. That take was blasphemous. I looked at him. I'm like,
I had to. It blew up. I posted it and it got like 700 likes, and I was like, and he DM'd me on the side. He was like, "This is not what I expected." So anyway, let's talk about the iBallEmpire. What is the iBallEmpire? If you guys don't know, if you go on Twitter and you see iBallEmpire, everybody has in their Twitter, they have this little cursive font for it, which I'm sure they copy and paste and they'll do all that. But everybody has it. You, Dave Fry, friend of the show, Toxic is another one. Talk about what iBallEmpire is, because I see it everywhere. Everybody's a part of it.
So iBall started as more of a 2K, of course they have like clans, organizations, that sort of thing in the community. It started as one of those, more so of a 3v3 like stage and part clan. Over time, it just built up into more. We're bringing in top players in Pro-Am, bringing in top players in my team, bringing in top content creators, top creatives, and it's becoming more so of an organization itself. And that's what we look at it. It's just we hold ourselves to the standard. We look at ourselves as the highest standard in the 2K community outside of the 2K League, making sure that, of course, all of our graphics, our media, our content, everything that we post is always the highest of quality, because we see what these esports organizations are doing. We see what FaZe is doing, 100 Thieves, Liquid, all of these other organizations, and we can do this. We've seen what 2Hype was able to do, and now that they're attached to 100 Thieves, and we're like, we can do something like that. We have the personalities, we have the names, of course, like Splash, we have Malik, we have Dave Fry, we have, of course, Greens, we have Spam. So many names, so many players that I can talk about. Not only them, creatives, made in India, part of the broadcast, part of the team, Cyclonic, who works for the Hornets as one of their creatives, Jazz, who works for the Hawks as their creatives, Heather, who works for ESPN now. So all of us are in different aspects. Mar, who works social for the 2K League now, Tox working marketing. We all have different roles, and we've all built up together. It's kind of, you push each other, like-minded individuals who push each other towards success, because we all have the same goal of wanting to be successful in this, in this space, but also not trying to work a traditional job and just have fun doing what we love. And that's playing 2K, making content, and having fun with friends.
And that's literally, I'm sorry to cut you off, Rob, but it's like esports, right? Like that, it's so unconventional, right? And it's so unique because we're all following a different path. There's no blueprint to this entire thing, right? We're all just kind of following this lead here. And like you mentioned, 30, 40 years from now, when they look back, they're like, wow, like those guys did it. Like they were able to found this company. And I think what's really cool about it is that family environment, right? I think all you guys are probably really, they enjoy each other's company. You really work together well. And I think that's what makes an esports organization in general just click and work so well with the content, with everything else they push out, because that family environment, you can't beat that. Once that chemistry is there, like you're off and running, and like all the success follows. So I think you guys are well on your way for sure.
And they just took the next step. They just released the merchandise they're wearing for the upcoming event that's going on in Philly at the beginning of August.
A little preview, Joe. You have a little preview for us on laying around? Or?
I mean, unfortunately, no, I don't have that. Do I have one of my eyeball hoodies around here? I'd have to go look, of course, laundry.
No, that's cool.
But we are the one thing that Tox, JT, Mar, the entire team, when it comes to our jerseys, our gear, they want it to also be closer to streetwear. So where it's not just, hey, esports, where it looks, of course, that negative stigma, that nerdy stigma. No, it's just something that, okay, I can rock on the street. I can look fresh. I can look nice. And also I can still support the organization. If I'm a fan of the organization, I can still rep this and rock this organization that I like, but also it looks nice where I can wear it out on a nice day or do whatever, match it with some nice sneaks or, match it with like some nice jeans, etc. So that's the whole plan of it. And yeah, those backpacks look fire.
And then you guys just announced I think it just ended. You guys did a raffle with Splash for NBA 2K23 that I should have tagged myself in, but I was but yeah, I didn't hop on it. But yeah, you guys are really trying to get the community involved, and now you guys are doing an event in Philly. Hopefully this comes out before the event happens. But yeah, a lot of people can come out. So if you're in Philly and you play 2K and you want to prove to people that hey, I can hang with the 2K league, that's the place to show out. So definitely check that out and see what you can do to get involved. But you are also, we talked about you being running involved in organizations, being a part of the 2K league as a host. You are also a coach. You are the coach of Team Handlez, one of the probably the best 3-on-3 team in the 2K league in terms of amateurs.
Man, for the amateurs, come on, man, it's not even close.
All right, what do you want me to call them? Just guys? Just humans that play 2K?
I love the humility. You know, never the best. There's always people that are above you. So.
Oh, there it is.
Maybe.
They put off the upset. They beat Wizards Gaming in the last 3-on-3. Like these guys are no joke. You got so talk about the team. How did the team come together? What does each team bring to the table, and what do you feel like you guys can accomplish in the future? As obviously the 3v3 championships are right around the corner.
So we'll start, with the first part. So as far as the team, there are 3 special players. Just from not elite shooter, just with his poise, his ability to not only be able to get a bucket himself, but to be able to control and work an offense. And he has great defense for guard. A lot of people, they look at it, but he's playing on a 40 perimeter out there. So when, of course, you know how in the league with 3v3, they kind of wind up having a lock set screen so they can kind of get the point guard on PNR. We're still playing very well with our point guard up there, even with the 40 perimeter defense when other teams are trying to do all kinds of other stuff. So much respect to him. Kaze, I think one of the brightest spots too. I think that he's very underrated as a lockdown defender. I think you're going to start to see his name more as you start to see other 3v3 players start to make their way to 5v5. I think the kid just has it. They all have it. And just when it comes to Kaze, just his understanding of, all right, one, of course, he has the dog in him. He's got a dog in him. But just, of course, the understanding just to be able to watch a point guard as they're coming up the court to know where to beat the spot. So even if he gets beat a play or two, of course, he's just, all right, taking that in, retaining that information so that he knows to be able to cut that off the next time. And he's not only able to make plays on defense, but he's able to make plays on offense as well, which is huge with a lot of locks where sometimes the locks are one-dimensional. They can't really score on offense, but he can go out and get a bucket. He can put the ball on the ground. He can quick stop. He can do everything like the best of them. And then, of course, Miami, the best big man in the league when it comes to 3v3. That kid is different. I've gone and I've, of course, watching all the other games, and before I'm just like, why are they not doing this? And then it kind of hits me like, all right, well, they don't have a Miami. They don't have somebody who can just just step back, put the ball on the ground, just shooting over people. We're just like, why are you okay? All right, that's why you're taking that shot, But they're all tremendously talented players. I'm grateful to be able to coach them. For the first tournament, it was more so them. I wasn't the coach for them for the Slam. Of course, it's their first time playing against pros, doing all of that. And granted, they took the Wizards to 5, and they really lost on final play, that kind of thing. So, of course, they wanted to come back in after they requalified through another qualifier, and they were looking for a coach. Of course, we already had a great relationship and rapport through, me assisting and helping them throughout the other qualifiers, making it into group play. So wound up going through an interview, presenting everything that I had, including like shot charts, showing all the little things that they can be doing better, just film, etc. And this is something they never had before. When you're coming from the 3v3 and Sage community, a lot of the times, and even just the retail build itself, you're not doing all of this that the pros are doing. Where I told them, I'm like, hey, you have to think about this. You guys didn't watch one lick of film going into this game against the Wizards.
And still got them to 5. I was like, now we're going to do it what other teams are doing in the league, where they're watching all of the film. They're watching film on their opponents. They're watching films on themselves to be self-aware, to understand the little tendencies and tells that we have, so we can
correct those so that teams aren't able to exploit us. We're making sure that we're working on our emotional and mental maturity to make sure that I just said patience and poise all the time, because, of course, when it comes to people speed it up, you get rattled in high intense moments. Of course, the strategic aspects, making sure I built out a whole playbook. Of course, they had a lot of input as well. So we built out things that work for all of us that we can use in different situations, as well as, just the little things and just working on the mental, like I said. And this time around, people said it from the beginning. Granted, we lost 2 games, but that's just us. Like, hey, we got the monkey off our back, whatever. Like, we lost a game. It's group play. You guys already qualified for the playoffs. It doesn't matter. Like, what, oh my God, you wanted to go undefeated? It's like, what? You want to go undefeated, but lose in the first round again?
Exactly.
I was like, you only face adversity when you wind up losing, when you have to deal with this, where you have to go through. Everybody's on your side when you're winning. When you're losing, that's when you see true character. That's when you see your true fans, the true people who are behind you. And they kind of saw that, especially dropping 2 games. So coming into bracket play in Indianapolis, they were a completely different team from the last time. Just watching them on stage, where you have Malik, as soon as we get on stage, he's trying to talk, he's trying to talk to Malik, get in his head. And, of course, Malik's my guy, being an eyeball guy. So, of course, Elite's not even listening. And I just look at Malik and I'm like, bro, come on. He's like, they already know what you want to do. Like, we already prepared for everything. And so what I would do is just like during the game, of course, we wind up dropping both games the first time around. You notice they were the same. They didn't have any fear on their face. They weren't struggling. They didn't look rattled. They were composed the entire time, knowing that, all right, all we need is 1 game and it's going to turn the tides. We started whipping out more of our playbook. And as it's all going, because Malik is talking to him, and I'm like, hey, I think you should focus on your own team right now. Because we're not allowed to talk to players. But I was like, hey, I think you should focus on your own team right now, because you guys have a lot that you're going to have to deal with soon. And as it's all unraveling, I just look at him and I wink. And that's all I did. just just a slight wink. Just, just a little fun, cheeky banter with my friends, but, being respectful. And you see the guys, they just continue to roll, and they built that momentum, and they became more of a team. And that's the best part about all of this, is this time around from that last tournament, they became more of a team. They became brothers. They know that, okay, we're fighting at certain points, but we know that it's next play. We can talk about this after the game. Little things we can correct. We shouldn't have to argue and fill comms right now when there's things on the line. We have people where we're all fighting for families, fighting for our own success, the motto being get back game, making sure that we're all getting it back. They lost in 5 last time. I was told that I don't have the skill to be a coach, things like that. So we all had chips on our shoulders, and we came out there making sure we're over prepared, spending all kinds of time. Before the Wizards game, I was up till 6 a.m. watching film and making sure our game plan is going crazy, just to be up by 9 the next day so we can get ready and get ready for all of them, make sure the guys are good. Coming in with the Wizards, I thought that was an amazing time for them, because same thing. They know you learn the type of players you can talk to and what players you shouldn't talk to, because you know how it is. Sometimes you start talking to somebody, that's when they lock in, they get play better because they feed off of that. Yeah. You don't want to give them energy. So they learn what not to do. They learn not to talk to Day Fry, and certain things, just things you kind of learn. And I just thought it was almost poetic and just full circle. The fact that, hey, they lost to the Wizards in 5 last time. This time around, they beat the Wizards in 5. But this time was a best of 7. And they just made the Wizards look completely outclassed and outmatched. And I had a conversation with Dave Fry and Pat and all of them afterwards. And they're like, hey, you guys really did this. We prepare very well. We do a lot. But I can honestly say you guys out-prepared us. And you all have talent in this league. And that's what I wanted to make sure they knew, is that even though this is 3v3 and you have a lot of players in this community, especially the pros, it's 3v3, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Money's on the line. Exactly. This is still the professional leagues. This is still the pros. This is still a lot on here. So while people can use that excuse because they're losing and they just suck or just suck at the game mode, because we just call a spade, or they don't want to put the work in because it's what it is.
Yeah.
You have these people who aren't in the league yet, who are trying to get to where they are, and they're using every single opportunity to showcase their talent and get themselves to that point. So, look, I can't be more proud of them. I'm excited for the playoffs. We're watching all the games, trying to figure out where we're going to be seeded, because before seed weeks, we were actually, I think, like tied for a third or fourth seed.
Yeah.
And but we're not normal seeded because we're the community teams. So we were tied for third or fourth seed. We had 12 points. The only teams that had more points than us at that point, I think, were Pacers, Pacers and Dukes. And I think, Pacers, Wizards, and we were tied with Dukes. I think that's what it was, which is huge.
Yeah.
3 of the top teams. So the fact that a community team that has played less games and is going to finish with less games is still going to be one of the top teams, that just goes to show you something.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. They're just watch out for them. Just watch out for them. That's all I can say. Just watch out for them come 3v3. They're gonna they've really, I think you can lock it in. Come next 2K League draft, these guys on Team Handlez are gonna be on a team. They're gonna be on a pro team, and it's all hands on deck when that comes through. So go ahead, Johnny.
No, yeah, I just think that as an amateur, I think you guys carry that chip on your shoulder off rip, right? I think coming into the season with the 3v3 being announced, there was a lot of talk about, those guys are amateurs, they don't belong necessarily with the pros like that. And I think you hear some pros, whether it's good or bad, kind of mention that 3v3 is not their thing and this and that. But at the end of the day, like you said, there's money on the line. Like, I don't care what's going on, like, as a competitor, and when there's money on the line, like, you got to show out. And I think you guys taking full advantage of any of the community teams that out there to really come into this league and into this tournament and this environment and really show out and showcase that, hey, I belong here, right? And I think that's always the mindset when you're trying to prove something as an amateur and trying to get to where these guys are at, right? These guys are superstars with the Dave Fries of the world, the Mamas, all these guys are great. But I think these guys are so hungry, right? So hungry to get to this league. And I think, like Rob said, there's no doubt in my mind that come the springtime next year, they will definitely be in the league for sure. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens in 3v3. And so for you, Joe, who do you think in 3v3 right now is on the lookout? Who you eyeing right now? Who do you think is the most the biggest threat, I guess, to say, to your 3v3 hopes of winning a championship?
I feel that first and foremost, like in this league, everybody's a threat, because when it gets to that stage, everything all is out the window, because it could all change in a split second. Of course, you have to give respect to the Pacers. They just won the whole thing. Of course, I believe the Pistons, they're still playing very solid, even without Radiant in that whole trade, getting back bag motion, and seeing what they're doing there. I do like the Celtics as well as the Hawks. I think that they're very fun teams. They're really good teams.
I think they're a little on. Yeah,
just a little bit. Of course, Dukes is a really good team. So there are a lot of really good teams as far as 3v3 goes, that people kind of sleep on and forget about. So I'm not here thinking like, oh yeah, we're gonna win this. No, I'm thinking like, holy crap, we're going to be first rounded. What can I do? Like, it's just like that kind of anxiety where it's just like, no, like, all right, need to watch more film, need to learn these tendencies, need to understand all of this, need to make sure that we mitigate any sort of, any variables that could be adjusted, whereas our percentage can drop as far as us trying to win. So we want to make sure that we are in the best situation, making sure that the players are good, making sure that they're mentally ready, they're focused, they're relaxed, all of the little things, because we only have one shot. It's not like we're playing 2K and it's like, oh, do you want to retry? Or we can kind of quit out dashboard and like load back into the game and try it one more time. No, that. Yeah, like, I wish, because otherwise I would have hit the big dash when we were playing the Pistons, So like, it's just, of course, it's just all about preparation and making sure that you are ready come game time. And I think that it set up the perfect trajectory. I feel that last time around, like I told the guys, the first time you weren't prepared at all. I wouldn't say not prepared at all. You guys didn't understand what this league was really about and what teams really did. And you still took the Wiz to 5. Boom. This time around, you made it to the Final Four, and you were one play away from making it to the finals. We see the trajectory. So we know the next goal. And we know the next goal. We know that we can compete with all of these teams. We know that when it comes to the Pistons, that a lot of that was on us and self-inflicted wounds that we can, and of course, White's falling and things like that. But look, whatever, we can't control all of that. we know the things that we need to do. And the fact that, hey, if we don't beat ourselves, there are not many teams that can really, compete with us. And I think that keeps them focused and hungry, because I made sure we stayed and watched. I was sitting next to Elite and I'm like, hey, stay right here. We're watching this trophy situation. We're, this trophy ceremony, and we're watching all the confetti come down. Similar to how I think it was like Stephon Diggs, a couple years ago, just like watching that and just all of it come down.
The Saints one. Yeah.
And I told him, I was like, I want you to burn this whole situation, this scene right here into your brains. You feel this feeling, that loss, that sick feeling. Make sure you remember this so we never experience it again. And so that next time we're here in Indy, that's us on that stage. And that's what I wanted them to realize. And I think that helped them with that hunger and understanding that we're this close. Before we were a little bit further away. Now we're almost there. And now we have an opportunity to play for, a $600,000 pot where the winners take home $250,000. We don't have to split it with an org. That's all pocket.
Yeah. Over 3-4 guys. Like, that's, come on, man. Like
5, 4, 3, 2, 1 Cancun. That's what you got to do.
We outside if we win. You're right. We definitely there.
They're gonna go. I think they might not make it out Indy. They're gonna be like, as soon as they step out, it's over. Forget about it. Anyways, 2 more things and then we'll wrap up. I know we're running along. I don't know how much time do you have. I just want to make sure.
We're good, man. Shoot, we could have pulled up a whole game of 2K and we could have been rocking this whole time.
Whoa, I like that energy. But hey, let's move on to. So I was looking when I first saw you on social media. I remember you followed me. And I was like, "Who? Oh, Joe Vegas. All right, cool." And I saw in your bio you have that you work with a team based out of the Dominican Republic, and then you also have a coach and women in gaming. So tell us about those 2 organizations. I'm Dominican myself. I was just there a couple weeks ago. So there you go. Anyway, so tell us about the 2 tell us about these 2 organizations and what you're trying to do in there, because obviously you're talking about paying it forward, and it looks like you are living up to that moniker.
So the Dominican National Team, this is when FIBA was going on last year. So I was actually the assistant coach to Maelo, who's the current coach of Hawks Talent GC. And just with that team, the first time around, helping them, unfortunately wound up just falling short against Team USA, getting the silver medal. But the second time around is more so, hey, let me help as far as being a coach and help with preparation. So, of course, just having a team. This time, we weren't allowed to have pro players. Last time around, we had a solid roster. We were killing it. We were good. Unfortunately, we wound up losing to JBM and Kenny and all of those guys going crazy.
Not a bad loss. That's a lot going on there. Yeah.
not a bad loss. It just sucks. Nobody likes to lose.
Yeah.
But second time around, we came out. We had all amateur players. We had all post-draft players, with the exception of Tack, who wound up coming in, I would say, like, the last week, probably a few days before, because of course we had a player who had an issue who wasn't able to participate anymore. So Tack wound up coming in. We had to redo our entire roster. So of course, getting ready all the game plans for teams, while you have Team USA out here with all of these studs. They're running out with Splash. They're running out with Malik, Crush, Steez, Walnut, and it's a super team in a sense. And of course, just going in and the David versus Goliath battle, everybody just rooting for Team USA, and us being able to go in and defeat them, in 3 games and be able to take that from them and show that we have a gold medal in esports. And of course, upsetting Team USA is huge. And it's a feeling that I will never forget. And just the camaraderie with all of the guys, it's an amazing feeling. I'm grateful to each one of them, and of course, Maelo and the entire Dominican national team. I can't wait for FIBA to come back. Hopefully it does come back soon, because I know Maelo and I are ready to go. We also have, there are a lot more Dominican players out there that people don't realize. Of course, you have C's, you have a bunch of other different players. So we can be loaded and ready to go again for another solid run. It's just all up to what FIBA wants to do, and as far as all of that. But I'm excited. As far as women in gaming, it's actually the one that's kind of most near and dear to me. Of course, just being a big advocate when it comes to women, being raised by a single mom, understanding the struggle, but also just seeing it in this community, knowing what it's like to come up in the community, knowing how sometimes it can be gatekept, especially when it comes to the women, where the men, a lot of times, you know how it is, sexist in esports, a lot of times where it's crazy. We've all played in those COD lobbies back in the day.
We have an exact lesson on that, and we talk about how women have to sometimes conceal their names, mute their mics, not let anybody know that they're women because they're gonna get attacked, especially if you play 1-on-4-2, unfortunately. Yeah,
and it's unfortunate. And the one thing we started this year is we started a full course where it is, a 6-week intensive, bi-weekly classes where we're not only teaching all of the stuff that they run in the league, so making sure they know rotations, they understand the little tidbits, understand offensive sets and plays, so all of this, how to wrap, how to flare up, all of the little things that you can do to build up your offense, what your reads are as a point guard, your reads are as a shooting guard, etc., all through 1 through 5. So as well as content creation, knowing how to upload film, how to upload to, of course, upload to YouTube, to Twitch, etc. And then, of course, coming up, brand building, just building your brand, making sure that it's all universal. Because the one thing that I've learned with helping with women in gaming is a lot of the times that the women in this community aren't given the proper tools to truly be able to succeed. They're just kind of, thrown out there, left to the wolves. And most of the time, it's a lot harder for them to be picked up on teams compared to their male counterparts. So it's just like sometimes with life with being, of a different color, and you have to work sometimes twice as hard. And that's where, while it's unfortunate that you have to do that, but again, another chip on the shoulder type of thing where it's, hey, all right, we're going to do it. We're going to show that we are just as good, if not better. And that's why I love a lot of the women that are part of this program. They've taken to it. They've really learned. They've adapted and grown to the point where they're getting respect from pro players. They're getting respect from, their counterparts and peers, being picked up on teams. People such as AB Pureblood, and a little lady who's not only a gold medalist with the United States national team, but of course she's being picked up with teams like with Killy and former players. And that's what you want to see. You want to see the blend where people are able to cohabitate and coexist, and show that it doesn't matter about your gender, race, exactly. Because when it comes to my controller, I don't even know. Like, I'm trying to show a point. I don't have to, but when it comes to skill, you know how to go. Like my controller's over there. But yeah, when it comes to skill and stuff like that, it doesn't matter. Yeah. If you have these, you have your thumbs, you have the IQ. That's really it. And I'm excited to keep pushing that forward and continuing to help shatter that glass ceiling, because a lot of the women in this community have such amazing talent. They just need an opportunity to be able to develop and showcase what they have.
And that is remarkable, because I think, like Rob mentioned before, we work with a lot of that kind of sentiment, right? We want to break that glass ceiling of that, some of those stereotypes, some of those things that our young students have those same thoughts, because that's how they grew up, right? They grew up saying like, oh, girls don't game, women aren't that nice as me, right? But in actuality, like, you killing some of these sticks with some of these young ladies out here, some young women, like, they will bust you. Like, it's not like, don't even get it twisted. Like, so I just think that a lot of times it is, like that barrier to entry, right? The barrier to entry is so hard for them. And I think you, Joe, as a man, to just understand the struggle of a woman, obviously having a single mom parent raise you, and understand that, like, hey, like, they just need that extra push, because once they get that extra push, boom, off to the races, and they got it. So I think having more, obviously CI Esports, the work we do, and obviously what you're doing there with women in gaming, I think more organizations and people doing this work will eventually lead to more growth as the esports community, right? I think that's all we're all about here. We're still very young. As much as esports has blossomed and bloomed, still very young, and a lot of things to learn in terms of just how etiquette and proper inclusion. I think that is definitely on the horizon for esports in general. And hopefully within the next 10, 15 years, even sooner, we can see a lot more of that. And I think that's going to be really exciting for just the entire esports landscape, for sure.
Yeah, we see women play, and I have a couple female friends that play, and it's a fun time, and I hope that they don't feel excluded, and I hope other women don't feel excluded. Because I play Super Smash Bros, Mario Kart. We may play Dance Dance Revolution. We're gonna talk about that.
Dance That's the vibes. Okay.
Well, that was way back. Now, I broke.
You don't got the moves no more, bro? You don't got the moves no more?
I got potato chip ankles. It still doesn't work for me. I broke my ankle, and then I'm gonna get in trouble for this, but I'm gonna do it anyways. I broke my ankle when I was in 6th grade. All right. I was in a breakdancing class. I tried to do handstands and shuffle to my friends, and I landed the wrong way, broke my ankle. Not fun. And I was supposed to play kickball. Done for the year. Then I never got cleared to like go about playing and do physical activities because I got sick and tired of my cast. My mom said, "You know what? Just took the scissor, opened that up, and I said, let's go. We're off to the races." And I said that was it. And then I sprained my ankle the same ankle the day before prom in high school, Johnny. You realize I wasn't there. And then the guy said, "Hey, if you want to go, you're going to be on crutches." I said, "Nope, I'm going to stay home." And that's why I have my bad ankles. So if I land the wrong way, it is party over. Anyways,
goodness.
Yes. All right. Now let's get to the end of the show. All right, let's get to the end of the show. We asked you the hard-hitting questions. Now we're gonna ask you even harder, rapid-fire questions, Joe. And I don't want you to hesitate. So the first question I start with is, who's the best player in iBallEmpire? JK. No, I'm not gonna ask you on the spot. I'm not gonna put you on the spot. You got scared.
He was like,
You got scared. I wasn't gonna put you on the spot there. If you want,
I'd answer it. Like,
go for it.
I'm real. Look, at the end of the day, Dave Fry got 2 of them, right?
Yeah.
That is
Until
true.
somebody beats him.
The rings speak for themselves, man. So that's a good one. That's a good one.
They're jingling and jangling. All right, so let's talk about this. Let's go next. They talked about it on the broadcast a couple days ago. I want to hear your thoughts because you are part of the 2K fan. Is a hot dog a sandwich? Yes or no? Right now, go.
I personally don't believe so.
Thank you.
You know, it is, I guess, Google, but to me, it's not.
Tell your boy India he is dead wrong on this.
Bro, man, I don't think you understand the amount of conversations, the debates you get into with India, Harris, Dirk, Autumn, Champ, just Tox, JT, all of them. Just some of this stuff. What? How do you say this? Do you live under a rock?
Nah. Their broadcast be having me just befuddled. I just be sitting there like, what?
I've heard people say Oreos are like ice cream sandwiches. I was like, disgusting. Get out of my face. So, what do you put on a hot dog? What's your go-to when you put it on a hot dog?
So I do a little bit of mustard and ketchup.
Okay, that's respectable.
I just do ketchup. I just do ketchup on my glizzies, and I'm good with that. Anyways, you saw me on July 4th, Johnny. It was Joey Chestnut would be proud. Anyways, all right, you are Dominican, correct?
No, so funny thing, I'm mixed. I'm actually Puerto Rican.
Okay.
So I know it's a little set trip. It's a little set trip.
Shout out to Joe Mar. There you go.
But like, yeah.
Shout out to Joe Mar. Facts.
I'm mixed. So
what's your favorite Puerto Rican food?
That's so hard. I mean, of course,
like the last meal on earth, Joe. You about to be out of here? Boom.
Yeah, I just have a plate of plátanos, just like a whole plate, like a big behind plate. I just eat them, like, because to me, it's almost like it's technically healthy, right? I mean, if we don't, I guess it's fried. No, it's not. I know it's not, but in my head it is.
It's better than the McDonald's, but it's better than eating the McDonald's every day. So there you go.
Yeah.
I'm Dominican, so I'm a big salami guy. Thank you very much. Salami is tremendous,
especially for breakfast when you like really fry that thing up and just.
Oh man, forget about it. Oh,
make me hungry.
So that's my thing. My claim to fame. All right, hot or cold weather? It is hot right now in North America. In case you didn't know.
North America.
It is 90 degrees here in New York, and it's going to be 99 this Sunday.
Define cold. Like how cold?
40,
40 like high 30s.
40 degrees and below.
Oh, that's not bad. I prefer cold weather personally.
Yes. I hate to sweat. I hate to sweat.
Same.
Like when I sweat, I'm like, do not talk to me. Do not talk to me. I wore a Shohei Ohtani t-shirt, and I walked 30 minutes, and I said, this is no good. I got to throw it in the hamper. I was upset. I'm tight. You see the segment on our YouTube. I'm tight. I can't do that. Anyways,
that's why you always gotta have the extra shirts in the bag when it's hot. With the extra deodorant,
backup shirt.
I'm just trying to live my life. I gotta carry all this stuff with me. I can't do that. Anyways, favorite. I say that too much. I gotta stop. Favorite 2K game.
2K11.
Ooh. I'm 2K13, but 2K11 is what really got me into the game, and then 2K13
was your first
put me
one,
over
though.
the top. 2K10 was my first one. Excuse me.
You barely played though.
No, I didn't know you at the time, so let's stop.
First of all, you wasn't online at the time. 2K10.
I was playing on PS3. All right.
Damn,
I was playing on PS3 before we got into high school, and my friends brought 2K10 to the crib and we played. That's how I got into it. That was my first one. Okay. So, How many? You're a Knicks fan. Let's go Jalen Brunson, not Trey Burke. How many wins for the Knicks? How many wins for the Knicks? Give me a number.
Depends.
Be
Donovan
realistic,
Mitchell
Joe.
trade or no Donovan Mitchell trade.
Let's
We can do
go.
both. We
No
can do
Donovan
both.
Mitchell. Let's go Donovan. No Donovan.
You can do
Mitchell.
both. We can do both. So you do no, and then what?
I would say, in the East, we probably go like 500, maybe like a little bit over 500, depending on the growth of Quickly and OB and all of those guys and
so
RJ.
51, 50,
No big bombs.
49.
No big bombs.
No, I mean, of course, it's still going to be us. I think we go we have a chance, I think, like 7th, 8th seed right now. I think we still need one more piece,
Yes.
personally.
Yes.
We're definitely one piece away. Jalen Brunson's a great player. I don't think he's the star, though.
No, absolutely not. I think he's a nice gel piece. Like he can keep the team
Mm-hmm.
together as a point man. Like he just runs the team pretty well. He can score a little bit. So, but I think you get that one guy that can really get you a bucket when you need one. Like obviously we thought Julius might be the answer. It's not the answer. So then you have Julius, you have Jalen, and then maybe that one person. Maybe it could be Obi Top if he develops more. I don't think so. But
Joe, I gotta put you on to Johnny's favorite Nick of all time. His favorite Nick of all time. The man, the myth, the legend, Ron Baker. Woo!
Ron Baker.
Nah, okay, no, he's not
Broken nose Baker? Okay.
Broken nose
Just
Baker.
He put him in 2K. We do leagues in 2K.
No, he
put him in.
He was already in 2K.
But you put him in, or you create him, whatever, and he makes him a 90 overall, 95
It was
overall
just
with
so
high
funny.
dunking, and he threw it on me. I just was not having it. But,
Ron's a good time. He's just a fun character because he's just always the end of the bench, his hype man when he was playing on the Knicks, and so it's always funny. He had the comb over, he just seemed like that YMCA type. Did not seem
Anthony
like an NBA
Davis
player.
literally ended
bro.
his NBA
Yeah,
career.
he just
Basically,
he really did though.
Yeah,
So,
really
that
did
was.
all right, so that was not rapid fire, but hey, when you give interesting answers, we develop the conversation. So it is what it is. But that'll do it for this edition of the Reachin and Teachin podcast. Joe, we thank you so much for coming on. If you haven't followed him yet, just tell them where they can find you.
You can find me on IG, Twitter, TikTok, all the Joe Vegas, 2 E's, THEE, Joe Vegas, all one word. And yeah, of course, simple enough right there.
It's like the Ohio State, just so they can just add.
Oh no!
So yes, follow him on those. Follow iBallEmpire as well. Just follow
Yes.
that. You'll see the little font on the Twitter when the Twitter name. That's how you know it's iBallEmpire. You'll know they put it in there. That's how you know it's iBallEmpire. And then stay tuned for the events. They're coming up. They're a lot. They're very involved. Like he said before, they're probably the biggest non-2K league.
The championships are here, baby. They're here. They're coming up, man. They're coming
up. They got a
soon,
lot of
man.
big hitters, but stay tuned for that. And yeah, like you said, follow him at Joe Vegas. Follow us, Reachin and Teachin on Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. No G's, it's Reachin and Teachin. And follow us on YouTube. We got a new segment alert, and we're probably gonna bust out some more content that's not episode related. So yes, stay tuned for more for that. So again, Joe, I thank you so much for coming on.
Yes.
Best of luck on the rest of the way, and we will be watching.
Appreciate you guys. Best of luck with you all going forward. I love the platform. Keep up the great work. I can't wait for every podcast that drops. Have noties on, so you got to make sure you
have the noties on. If Joe,
you know what he does? Well, we appreciate.
I'm a content guy. Come on.
He takes notes. This is what he used for the film when he talks to his guys. This is how he does it. This is how he does it. And we may not be in deep for the playoffs. So we.
Oh yeah.
Are you guys? Dig it. Are you guys in Philly for UPA since it's close, or like?
No, I won't be there. But I think Rob, maybe.
Well, we're working out the details.
We're working out the kinks
because our boy Big Perm is trying to see what's
Big Perm. Shout out to Big Perm.
Yo, that's my guy. I love that kid to death. Vincent, I don't know. We can't curse on this thing, but Vincent Valerio, Big Perm, he is the guy.
Yo,
I've
clap up for Big Perm, bro. It must sound Big Dick, man. Come on, dude.
He's supposed to. He's supposed to be here. So hopefully he's.
Yeah, he just got off vacation, right? So
he's got back from vacation.
No, he's literally supposed to be in the vicinity of us, like in the offices with us. I don't know. That's what I was told. I don't know if that's true, but yes, shout out to Big Perm, and yes, check us out on all the platforms, and stay tuned for more episodes. And like I said, Joe, thanks again for coming on. We shall see you later.